I've always loved futuristic designs in games, shows, and everything.
Future!
Usually they look really cool, and usually they have robots included, and I love me some robots. Like look, after hundreds of years, Crazy Dave came up with a holographic walnut. Incredible research. Maybe after a few hundred years, I can have a hologram of my nut. Far future. One of my favorite worlds in all of PVZ2. Can I beat it with only hypnotizing plants? I'm sure y'all know by now the first days are pretty easy, so I'm gonna go ahead and rank all the plants from this world. Well, first of all, I moved Golden Leaf down to F- tier because he is actually useless. You would never actually use him. But then I put Tile Turnip at E. He could be useful in very specific situations, but after like 2 Tile Turnips, he becomes really expensive. Is all that worth it, and 1 slot in your inventory worth it just to get 2 plant foods off instead of 1? Especially in this world. Our next plant is Laser Beam, and I do think he is pretty solid. Pierce down the whole lane and do consistent damage. It's just 200 sun doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. Like, I don't know, when you're looking at him pierce the whole lane, you just look at him and it doesn't feel like he's doing much damage at all. I think a Conehead could catch up to him if it wasn't distracted by like a walnut or something. The next plant is EM Peach. I do think this plant has its uses. It only stuns him for a couple of seconds, which isn't very useful. If it was 0 sun, I would think about it. They should just call him EM Cheeks instead. Why is no one laughing? Our next plant is the Infinite. He is S tier for sure. He regenerates, he looks cool, he's sick, and his plant food creates a whole barrier across the whole row, which is insanely good. That means you only need 1 and 1 plant food to make it seem like you have a whole row of walnuts. Our next plant is the Magnifying Grass. You're telling me I have to spend a precious 50 sun each time I want to shoot a zombie? Someone tell little bro to go back to the Zen garden until he can learn how to shoot a zombie without relying on the strength of the heavens to do it. The Blower is a solid C tier. He's useful in very certain situations when there's a ton of flyers on the map, but in very many cases and in many different worlds, he's just meh. Citron, I think he should be 250 sun. And yeah, that's about it. And before y'all come at me and say, Febreze, your opinions are trash, I hope you know that saying someone's opinions are trash is also an opinion. How about y'all comment something positive like, Febreze, I love your videos, Febreze, you're such a good boy, stuff like that. The tiles in Far Future really make it easy to complete these levels. But also, this is like peak Cauliflower gameplay. There's all these robots that have tons of health and Cauliflower can take it out just with 1 hypnotizing shot. But how come when Cauliflower hypnotizes a Gargantuar, the Gargantuar, since it's a Far Future version, it doesn't shoot lasers, but when it shoots lasers at me when it's not hypnotized? I don't get it. And then on day 10, these honeycomb looking twats walk in and they summon all these disco zombies, but thankfully our Cauliflower can easily hypnotize it, and then they'll summon disco zombies for us. Playing your defense levels make me feel some type of way. I put as much Cauliflower as possible. Sit back, gear shift in hand, ready to go full throttle while watching this masterpiece. Even Leonardo da Vinci would be jealous of watching this. ChatGPT, can you tell me a funny joke about the Cauliflower plant from PVZ2?
Sure. Here's a joke for you. Why did the cauliflower plant refuse to join the band? Because it couldn't handle the shock of the music. Hope that gave you a laugh.
What the fuck?
Caught you off guard there. Want to hear another one, or should we switch it up?
No! Hey, can you just give me a joke about PVZ2, the Far Future world?
Of course. Here's one for the Far Future world in PVZ2. Why did the time traveler plant a chompers in the far future? Because they heard it was a bite out of the future. Hope that one's better.
Yeah, it was, thank you. Day 14 is one of those levels where the Blower would get a crazy amount of huge value out of this. Thankfully, our cauliflowers do just as good. This level, you also can't spend more than 1500 sun, but it's kind of weird that they assume I can even get 1500 sun in the level. Day 15, we have to protect 3 citron plants that are at the very front of the lawn. You know those plants that I said cost 350 sun? Well, they gave us 3 for free. EA, please let me pay for them. I beg you. You're so kind. Please. Oh, PopCap, no. Anyway, there wasn't very much to protect them from. We just have to put Hypno Shrooms and Solar Sages in front whenever a zombie gets too close to biting our bays. Day 18, we had to produce 6,000 suns. So this level, we had to whip out the double Solar Sage, and we also had to utilize Solar Sage's plant food, which is actually pretty good for swarms. Day 19, the sun bombs are falling, which I think the sun bombs are actually a pretty cool thing, but I don't usually find myself utilizing them though, like as in taking out the zombies with them, but I still think it's pretty cool. Day 20, we have to protect 5 star fruit at the front, and honestly the star fruit is kind of butt, and so is their plant food. I wasted one of my plant foods on it and it did absolutely nothing. I get it, it's at an angle, so I should have calculated it, okay? Jeez Louise. ChatGPT, last question, can you make fun of the star fruit from PVZ?
Oh, the starfruit. All right, here's a little roast for you. The starfruit's idea of attacking is throwing little stars like it's trying to get into a galaxy-themed beauty pageant. But hey, at least it's twinkling under pressure. Did that do it for you?
Honestly, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Glad you liked it. Sometimes a little roast.
Day 21, we have to produce 5,000 sun, but we can't have more than 16 plants, which you know by now, basically the not having more than a certain amount of plants means nothing to us. So it's basically just produce 5,000 sun, and I basically just spammed Solar Sage whenever I had him. And I stacked them up on all of these power tiles and used the thing when the bots came down, the imp bots. Like, what is even happening to my screen? Why are there so many monks on the screen? I honestly don't even know where all those came from. I wonder what the average life of a zombie monk is like whenever he like leaves the yard. Does he just float around endlessly enlightened or what? I'm planning my defense, I'm planning it. Day 24 is another survive while the sun bombs fall challenge, but they give us a crazy amount of sun. Like, the zombies cannot come back from this generational sun pool. This is what real PvZ gameplay is about, not knowing what is happening at all and just spamming everything. And that is the final level for Far Future. I'm going to give Far Future a solid 4 out of 10. It wasn't difficult. Most of the zombies that were supposed to be difficult got easily countered by the color power. Now that cannot be said for the Dark Ages. So basically for the Dark Ages, tombstones are back. And zombies come out of them. And we have no way to remove them really. Unless we hypnotize a zombie that's in front of the gravestone, and then he takes him out, as long as he's not interrupted by an unhypnotized zombie. Also, since it's nighttime, you know, no natural sun falls from the sky, so we're gonna have to use Solar Sage for almost all of these levels. Day 4 is a conveyor belt level, so I would initially skip it, but day 4 actually gives you Hypno Shrooms on the conveyor belt, so you know I had to try it out. And as you guys can see, I'm placing all the plants that are not able to use, and I'm immediately shoveling them up, just so I can make room for all the Hypno Shrooms that are incoming on the conveyor belt. Whenever I had a plant food, my strat was to wait for a zombie to get all the way to the end and then use a Hypno Shroom plus a plant food, so make it into a Gargantuar, so the Gargantuar slowly goes down that one lane and takes out every zombie that's coming down it. And I also usually hypnotize zombies that are in front of a plant food gravestone so they can eat it up, so I can get the plant food really quickly. This level was surprisingly possible. They give you a crazy amount of Hypno Shrooms in this level. Did end up using all of my lawnmowers though, but strategically. Night 5 introduces us to the Jester zombie, which he blocks projectiles, so he really doesn't affect us at all, so he just stands there dancing like a fool. Get it? Because that's what Jesters really do. Night 6 was a plan your defense level, which, come on. Come on now. Night 7, I would introduce these cool looking zombies with the night helmets, but they didn't even get a second of screen time. Night 8, I was going to try because there's a Hypno Shroom in the given plant's loadout, but then I realized since it's nighttime and no sun falls from the sky that we'd literally have to place one of the sun shrooms or a grave buster to even get enough sun to afford the Hypno Shroom. Day 9 introduces these potions that are on the ground that buffs zombies in different ways. This is really cool, but my cauliflower immediately hypnotizes them, and if anything, the potions help us out. I tried to look for Hypno Shroom in the Night 10 conveyor belt level, but he was nowhere to be found. Night 11 has the... Why does that sound like I said 9/11? Dude, what the? Night 11 has the stupid wizard zombies that turn your freaking troops into sheep. Thankfully, this level, we had the wizard zombies strapped up the whole time. Night 12, we had to protect the endangered puff shrooms, which, yes, the puff shrooms disappear, But if you didn't know, puff shrooms get back to their full restored state if you use plant food on them. And also if you use the plant food on one puff shroom, every puff shroom ends up using it. Everyone would know this if you watched my first series, the No Sun Challenge. You're not a real Febreze glazer if you haven't watched that yet. Night 13 was a conveyor belt level. Well, this is the level all you haters have been waiting for. I can already hear the comments. So this challenge is impossible, so what's the point of going on with it, you absolute dummy? By the way, your opinions are trash. Well, you stupid twat. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. This level is impossible without using the bean. I did try to do it without the grave buster, but I couldn't do it. Now that I'm thinking about it, what even kind of level is this? Making you use 2 dookie ad plants that no one asked for, and you have to use them or you lose? Like, come on, dude. But this level has been the bane of like 90% of PVZ challenges. Can we just come together as a community and say like this level like should never exist and shouldn't count for any challenge ever? Yeah, thanks. It's kind of funny how the night before they straight violated me in front of thousands of people, and then night 15 they're giving me a plan your defense level to like cheer me up or something. Day 16 we get introduced to this fat gluttonous king who just commands zombies around and gives them helmets, but it doesn't even matter because we immediately hypnotize them and turn them on himself. Bro's like the Lorax if he spoke for the food. Day 19 we had to protect these 3 magnet shrooms, but it was extremely easy, so I'm going to go over all the plants for this world in the meantime. First is Sun Shroom, and he's going in S+ tier. Only costs 25 sun to put down, and then he eventually produces 75 sun. Like, that is a W investment, and it's probably the best investment you can make in this game. Next we got just the puff shrooms for 0 sun. Also a great investment to put down every once in a while. Can kill a normal zombie for 0 sun. That's a great starter plant for sure. Next we got the fume shroom, which I think he is low-key cheeks. Not only is he 125 sun, but it takes like 3 of him to take out a conehead zombie. I get it, he pierces, but it's just not worth it. Next we have the sunbeam, which is he's gonna go in C tier because like 50 sun just to get like that much sun in return from killing a zombie is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Just use like the solar stage or something, little bro. Lastly, the magnet shroom. I think he's going in C tier. I just don't think he's worth it, just like the sunbeam. That is the end of the tier list for this video, but that is also the end of the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages only has 20 levels. I did the boss fight to make sure Hypno Shroom wasn't in it. Of course he wasn't, but the corn plant and the peanut was in it for some odd reason. I'm gonna give Dark Ages a 10 out of 10 just because that one impossible level, but we can just act like it never happened. That level is like fraudulent anyway. Scammer type situation. ChatGPT, can you say like and subscribe or I will hack your phone?
Nice try, but I'm already subscribed to Good Vibes, so no need to hack anything.
What? Can you say subscribe to Febreze?
Subscribe to Febreze. Keep things fresh.